Hey, this is MMD coming at you with tips for super golf on Roblox. I want to take you through this new custom map. What's it called? Tsuki no Tani. No idea what that means, but it's a fun little map. Unfortunately, it's a little dark like a lot of the other custom maps, but this one is not as dark as some of the others. And like I said, it's fun. Before we jump into this, just want to mention two things real quick. One, got to find the centers of your screen in order to be successful in Super Golf. You got to know the exact center line of your screen. A couple ways of doing that. I play purely on the phone, but on the PC, I'm sure there's some overlay apps that could put a grid line down the center of the screen. On the phone, I believe there's something like that too, or you can use a piece of tape, use a ruler, find your center line, and just draw a little, with pencil, little line down the piece of tape. Or you can use a really thin rubber band and put it on there and just find your line. So those are some things, but it's real important. You got to know your center of screen if you're really going to be successful. The other thing I do is I like to take notes of, as I work on the strategies. And I have a video that talks about building strategies. And these are notes I take when I do it. It only takes a few minutes, a couple of little notes, no big deal. And I'll go through some of the notes as we're going along here. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. As I mentioned, there's the note. This says 100 at the far corner of the inside left wall. So let's take a look at what we got in front of us here. There's the inside wall right there, the left side. So I'm going to go to that far corner of that left side. Now, I mentioned I've only played this map 2 times in public. I've only really worked it out with the strategies a couple times. So this is all kind of still new to me, but you can see how I developed these strats, and you can see they're fairly successful. And as I play, I'll refine the strategies. So it's 100 to this inside wall. Let's do that. Now, as I play along here, and sometimes this actually, I was going to say, sometimes it goes in a hole-in-one, and there you go, you saw it. It doesn't usually do the hole-in-one, it usually just puts me near the hole. But you can see sometimes it works. And that's one of my favorite kinds of strategies. A strategy that's safe. You saw it was pretty safe. That sometimes will go hole-in-one. That's like my perfect type of hole-in-one. All right, so here we're on hole 2. And let's go take a quick look at the note again, just so you can kind of see how I do this. So I wrote down here 97.5 to the right, just left of the the white upper pole between the leads. Bounces on rock in the center area. All right, so let's take a look. We got a center area there. You can see there's a rocks in there. Let's zoom in so we can see it. There's the pole. We're gonna go just to the left of the pole, 97.5. Now, as I go through the map here, I want to talk about some of the folks that I've played with over the years that made the game a lot of fun for me, supported me, and some really, really good players. One of my favorite players to play with is Super. She's number 1 in Forest, but I'll get to the rest of this in a second. Let's go take this shot. All right, so we should bounce on a rock. That's what the notes say. Look at that. We bounced on a rock, got us right next to the hole, and boom, we're in. So we mentioned a couple of other players. Gavranito, love playing with him. He's really good. Meema, she's really good in Forest. Love playing with her. Hiro's great across a bunch of different maps. That's Hiro. And the mother of Puppies. She's got a YouTube channel actually too. But she's really good, really fun. I love playing with her as well. I'll mention some other really good players as we move on. So this is, what is this, hole 3. All right, so this is a good example of a map where you can't get to the hole in one shot, right? So your first shot, and I've mentioned this in my other videos, you got to get to a point where you know how to take your next shot. So that's really what I'm trying to do here, is I'm just trying to get to a spot that I already know is going to be good for my next shot. So get the speed set, got my aim lined up, and here we go. Let's see if I get to where I want to be. Yep, that I think is where I want to be. It might be a little too far, but we'll find out. Hopefully not. All right, so this shot, you'll see now, this shot sometimes will go in the hole. I doubt this well, but let's see what happens. Oh, close. So So there you go. And then this one's another one. So you can see you can condor this. That's a nice albatross. So some of the other players I was going to mention, Faded. She's number 2 in wins. She's great. Love playing with her. Sir Rooster or Stroke My Rooster, and that's because he's got a pet rooster. He's great. Mighty. He stopped after about 6,000 wins, but I used to love playing with him. And he was, you know, early on one of the top players. Spike 76 is always a tough player to play against. Papa the Cookie Man, Pretty Gamer, and Silverleaf. Those are some really good players. I have some others I'll mention as we go along here. All right, so this is another interesting hole. You're not going to get directly to the hole on one shot. But hang on, let me reset that there for a sec. Okay, so what I do here is I utilize the spinners. All right, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the shot right in the way of a spinner that's then going to move me down. Hopefully it's going to get me down to the hole. That's the plan. And the other thing I was going to mention about spinners is I like to make a comment or in my notes about parallel or perpendicular for my timing. So I said perpendicular for this. So when that barrier is perpendicular to me, I'm going to shoot. Boom. Let's see what happens. So it should get me right there. Hit. Boom. And there we go. And we'll get right into the hole. All right, so I wanted to mention some of my toughest opponents. There's one at the top of the list. Whenever I get in a game with her, I know I'm in for a really tough game, and that's Silver Moonsy. She goes by Zuzi. Really good, and I just wanted to make a call out to her. Ace Melody is another really good player over the years I've played with, and then Pay with Milk. She's really good, especially in Canyon. She's like I think she might be the top player in Canyon. But those are some players that I really have tough times on when I get into games with them. All right, so let's go here. So here's another example of a long hole. You're not going to get there in one shot, not even in two. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to get to where I can make my next shot. And I already know what it's going to be because I've practiced it. So that's my goal, is to get to that. Now, if you notice, this one doesn't have walls along there, which I kind of hated at first, but now I like. So it just makes this a little bit tougher. You got to be really careful about your shots. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to time the spinner, and we're going to get up so that we can get to the hole in the next shot. You see, and there's no reason to be more aggressive there because you're not going to get into the hole. You just want to get somewhere where you can make the next shot. And here we go. Let's get the right speed. I'm on phone, so setting speed and setting aim can be kind of tricky. Every time you lift your finger, it changes the aim a little bit sometimes. Boom. There we go. All right, so another group I wanted to mention is some map creators. The Azureski and Mario. They make a lot of maps. I think, I actually don't know who made this map. It might be Mario. But I just wanted to call them out. They've made a lot of really good custom maps, and I just wanted to call them out. All right, so let's go here to this one. All right, so this one here, you just got to shoot 100. There's not much to do here. You just got to hope that it lands in the map on the straightaway. I've tried a lot of different things, but really can't do much else but do that. Now you want to get past this spinner. You can see you got a spinner there. So we're just going to kind of try to time that so we don't run into any difficulty. And again, I'm going to use the spinner here to put me where I want to go, right? So I'm just going to pop up, try to set myself right up with the spinner so it can help me get to the promised land. And let's see, I think I'm going to time it like that. I think it's perpendicular. Yeah. So that puts me right next to the hole. And then we're in. And you can see all of my strats here are really safe strats. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm not going to end up in a hole where I'm, shooting out of bounds for some crazy hole-in-one shot. I try to be safe for each of my shots. Now, I don't remember if I mentioned, but I think I did mention, but the OGs of this game are Hype, Joe Finger, and Stormi. If I didn't mention early on, I've mentioned them now. They were the ones that really brought this game at the early days up to the forefront. All right, so let's do this one. So this one here, Oh yeah, this one's kind of another tricky one where you're gonna really just kind of want to hit so you have a good shot for the next shot. So let's go ahead and try this. All right, good. And give me a... Okay, let's set the speed for the next one. Okay, and we want to get this set up for our next shot right to the hole. Get over this bridge. Whew. All right, and so there's the hole up there. We didn't get perfectly aligned, but we'll see what we can do here. Okay, get my speed. I'm gonna aim it just because we're gonna go up the hill, and then when you go up hills, if you're not straight up the hill, it's gonna push you towards gravity, so it's gonna push me to the right a little bit here on this shot. I'm gonna go a little bit faster. There we go. Actually, I'm gonna go even a little bit faster because I'm further back than I expected. Let's see how this works. Hopefully it goes in. I needed to go a little bit faster. Oh well, that's fine. You get the point. Okay, we're getting there. We're almost to the end. So, ooh, this one's kind of crazy. Never know what that thing's gonna do to me. It's throwing me. All right. I think this is right. Wish me luck. This is a little bit scary of a shot. Oh, let's see what happens. I can't get that. See, it keeps bouncing back every time I lift my finger. All right, here we go. Boom. It's okay. Sometimes it puts me closer, but this is actually not bad. So here we could try to bounce off the wall. It's way too risky. I'm not going to do it, but you could. I'm going to try to find a speed that's going to get me where I need to be for my next shot. So I guess it's not, I don't want it to go too far. All right, let's see how this works. Didn't do it hard enough. All right, I'm gonna back up because I kind of I want you to see what we could do here. Let's go to that and see if that works. All right, so the idea here is you want to be able to get to the center of that globe. So just so you know, I did a 24 first. It didn't work, so I did a 28. And I'll probably take a note of that next time. So if I'm far back, I'll know 28 is what I need to do. But let's go into this. So we'll go, I'm guessing 37, maybe 38. Let's go 38. You don't want to go too fast in these globes because if you go too fast into the globes, they throw you off somewhere else. There we go. Nice. Actually, almost in the hole. So this is not bad. I mean, I still got it. You can get albatross. You can even get condor on this hole if you do everything right. And we're on the last hole. This one is pretty straightforward. You just got to find the speed. I'm not going to tell you the speed. You go ahead and figure that out. But you get the right speed, and it's going to get you to the hole. Sometimes in the hole, it might pop me out somewhere else, but it's okay. We'll see what happens. Okay, I'm in. All right, cool. Let's see if it gets me there. Look at that. Oh, almost in the hole. Almost in the hole. All right. And that is Tsuki no Tani. I hope this helps you with your Super Golf games in the future, and I'll be doing more of these coming up. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.